6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, read by Soundithabam. The President says that Sri Lanka's move to limit the use of chemical fertilizer will lead to build a healthier nation. The vaccination program for school children is being carried out successfully. A request was made to the Minister of Health to make the use of the COVID vaccination card compulsory. The Minister of Justice says that Cabinet approval is expected to amend about 60 existing laws. The Minister of Agriculture states that all fertilizers are imported to Sri Lanka only if they comply with the relevant standards. In world news, the World Bank suspends aid after military takeover in Sudan. In sports, ICC T20 World Cup, Sri Lanka will clash in a Group 1 Super 12 match against Australia in Dubai today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that Sri Lanka's move to limit the use of chemical fertilizer will lead to build a healthier nation. It will also help to solve the existing health problems in the country. Sri Lanka, with its rich philosophical heritage shaped by the teachings of the Buddha, fully understands the importance of balancing environmental boundaries with human needs. The President made these observations while participating at the high-level meeting on delivering climate action for people, planet and prosperity convened by Abdullah Shahid, President of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly via video technology yesterday. The high-level thematic debate on delivering climate action for people, planet and prosperity was commenced under the patronage of the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres at the UN headquarters in New York, and the heads of states of UN member countries and representatives joined the conference via video technology. The President further said, internationally, Sri Lanka is proud to be a co-lead of the Energy Compact for the No New Coal Power, and added that Sri Lanka also leads the Action Group on Mangrove Ecosystems and Livelihoods under the Commonwealth Blue Charter initiative. Sri Lanka seeks to halve nitrogen waste by 2030 through the Colombo Declaration on Sustainable Nitrogen Management. The President assured that Sri Lanka's domestic policy framework has a focus on sustainability. Consultant Dr. Ranjith Batuvantudava says that the vaccination program for school children is going on successfully at present. No case of severe after effects have been reported so far. The vaccination process is being carried out with the full consent of parents and students. There is no influence or forcing them to do so. Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga's request to the Minister of Health to look into the possibility of making the use of the COVID vaccination card compulsory, as nearly 13.7 million people in the country have been fully vaccinated. This will make the COVID vaccination card compulsory for foreign tourists as well. During a discussion with Health Minister Kele Rambukwella, he pointed out that out of the total population of the country, nearly 14 million have already been fully vaccinated. Accordingly, more than 60% of the total population has been vaccinated against COVID. The Minister of Justice Ali Sabri says that Cabinet approval is expected to amend about 60 existing laws in the country. Some outdated laws cause much inconvenience to the general public. There are over 800,000 cases filed in courts at present. However, there are only 335 judges to hear these cases. The minister made these comments when he declared open to the public the newly constructed Madhavachya District Magistrates Court and the Kahatadasgiliya District Magistrates Court recently. The Madhavachya District Court building has been completed at a cost of 157 million rupees, while the Kahatadasgiliya Court building has been completed at a cost of 102 million rupees. These two courts have so far functioned as circuit magistrates' courts and will be functioning as permanent courts from now onwards. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The daily count of COVID-19 cases confirmed in Sri Lanka moved to 559 yesterday, as 134 more people were tested positive for the virus. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of coronavirus reported in the country to 538,320. As many as 504,376 recoveries and 13,674 deaths have been confirmed in Sri Lanka since the outbreak of the pandemic. More than 20,200 active cases are currently under medical care. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidamahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidamahatmya.
The Minister of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutkamage, states that all fertilizers are imported to Sri Lanka only if they comply with the relevant standards as per the Fertilizer Act. The Minister of Agriculture also emphasized that any type of fertilizer imported from abroad is brought into the country in accordance with the law. He said that the government cannot import fertilizer as it wishes. He said that there is a set of regulations and the fertilizer has been imported according to those regulations. The minister said that nano-nitrogen fertilizer was imported from India since it could not be imported from China. Speaking at a media briefing held at the Ministry of Agriculture, Minister Alutkamage said that all fertilizers will be distributed to agrarian service centres between November 5th and 10th and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
Health authorities have requested the public not to travel, violating travel restrictions and ignoring health guidelines. The Director General of Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardena, said that it is a high risk for the public to travel when there are restrictions. He requested the public to refrain from travelling between the provinces. He pointed out that 500 to 600 corona patients are still being reported daily from the country. Therefore, he emphasized that the pandemic can spread rapidly again if the public act irresponsibly and came to you in Watchlight.
World News.
Making headlines, the World Bank suspends aid after military takeover in Sudan. Iran blames foreign country for cyber attack on petrol stations. And Pope Francis to visit Canada for indigenous reconciliation. The World Bank has suspended its aid to Sudan after the military there staged a coup against the civilian government. Political leaders were arrested on Monday, sparking nationwide protests and international condemnation. The African Union, AU, has also suspended Sudan from the bloc after the unconstitutional seizure of power. The US has frozen $700 million in aid. Sudan's civilian and military leaders have been in a fragile power-sharing agreement for the past 2 years. Iran has said a foreign country was behind a cyber attack that paralyzed its petrol distribution network last Tuesday. A group calling itself Predatory Sparrow claimed it carried out the hack, but Iran's top internet policy-making body blamed an unnamed state sector. President Ibrahim Raisi said the aim was aimed at stoking public anger. The attack hit an internet-based system that lets motorists buy subsidized fuel with government-issued smart cards, causing long queues at petrol stations. Pope Francis has agreed to visit Canada to assist with ongoing reconciliation efforts with indigenous groups, the Vatican said yesterday. The trip follows disturbing revelations this spring about the indigenous children who died while attending residential schools. The Catholic Church was essential in the school's founding and operation. The Pope has not issued a formal apology for the Church's role despite repeated calls by Canadians. Back to the headlines of the world news. The World Bank suspends aid after military takeover in Sudan. Iran blames foreign country for cyber attack on petrol stations. And Pope Francis to visit Canada for indigenous reconciliation. And that concludes this bulletin of world news.
And now in development news.
The Ministry of Agriculture has taken measures to declare an island-wide home gardening week with the aim of producing toxin-free food. The national ceremony to distribute seed kits of 7 varieties of home garden varieties and vegetables to 12 million selected families will be held on November 1st at the Plant Genetic Resource Centre, Gannoro, Peradeniya, with the participation of the Ministers of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutkamage and Shashindra Rajapaksa. Simultaneously, home gardening seed distribution programs have been organized at 562 agrarian development centres island-wide and came to you in development news.
Sports news.
Sri Lanka will clash in a Group 1 Super 12 match of the ICC T20 World Cup against Australia in Dubai today. Sri Lanka, who won the title in 2014, topped Group A with 3 successive wins before outwitting Bangladesh by 5 wickets in their first Super 12 match. On the other hand, the Aussies are yet to win the T20 World Cup. Skipper Aaron Finch also expects the power-hitting batters to find ways to score in this match. However, the presence of quality spinners in the Lankan ranks could prove to be a tricky proposition for the struggling Australian batsmen. The availability of Mahesh Theekshana could boost the team's morale as he has the wares to trouble the Aussie batsmen who are not so comfortable against the slow stuff. Leg-spinning all-rounder Vanindu Hasaranga could be more than a handful for the opposition batting unit, and how he goes could well determine how the encounter pans out. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa instructed officials to expedite the work on the new shopping complex in Kollupitiya. Addressing the Colombo Municipal Council party leaders meeting yesterday, the Prime Minister advised that all council members and officials act diligently towards expediting the construction of the new shopping complex project in Kollupitiya, thereby encouraging investors. It is proposed to construct a new shopping complex at the present Kollupitiya market premises. The proposal of the project was unveiled to the Prime Minister on March 12th this year and came to you in business news. Economic news up next.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Moving on to economic news, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has announced the progress made by the government in securing foreign exchange inflows as announced in the 6-month roadmap for ensuring macroeconomic and financial system stability. The CBSL in a statement said the bank and the government have commenced a series of direct engagements with other governments, central banks, financial institutions and investors. Several memoranda of understanding, MOUs, have been entered into in relation to development projects in line with the initiative towards monetization of underutilized or non-strategic assets and came to you in economic news.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning. With video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
A low-pressure area in the southwest Bay of Bengal is likely to move nearly westwards towards the east coast of Sri Lanka. Showery conditions are expected to enhance over most parts of the island under the influence of this system. Showers or thundershowers will occur at most parts of the island, particularly during the afternoon or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places. Showers may occur in the northern, eastern and southern provinces during the morning as well.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning. With video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The president says that Sri Lanka's move to limit the use of chemical fertilizer will lead to build a healthier nation. The vaccination program for school children is being carried out successfully. A request was made to the Minister of Health to make the use of the COVID vaccination card compulsory. The Minister of Justice says that cabinet approval is expected to amend about 60 existing laws. The Minister of Agriculture states that all fertilizers are imported to Sri Lanka only if they comply with the relevant standards. The World Bank suspends aid after military takeover in Sudan. And Sri Lanka will clash in a Group 1 Super 12 match against Australia in Dubai today. That concludes this morning's news broadcast.